So what we're really going to take you through today is the reason why we think that Union Jack is a low-risk onshore UK focused company, really focused on drill-ready projects and creating value for the shareholders. We have a balanced portfolio, and that balance is over the production, development, appraisal and exploration aspects of the E&P cycle. Our portfolio we actively participate in, and we really want to generate near-term news flow that gives every investor the opportunity to participate in value creating catalyst points. And again, our projects are aimed at delivering growth in reserves, production, and of course, asset value, which then feeds through into value creation for the shareholder. One of the ways in which we do this, as I hope we'll be able to demonstrate to you aptly today, is the fact that we maintain very strict financial and technical discipline over our assets. In so much so, it's actually easier for us to say no than it is to say yes. So where are we based? Well, we're in the East Midlands Basin, stretching up to the Humber and Lincolnshire. We have 13 licence interests, and our principal assets are really West Newton, which there's been a lot of news on, of course, Biscathorpe, and of course the forgotten part of our portfolio, but certainly not by us, is Wressle, which of course we're going to come on to, which for us is going to be a very significant catalyst for value creation. And of course that doesn't exclude the other elements of our portfolio, such as Fiskerton and of course Keddington, which is currently in production as well. Okay, so what is our near-term news flow? Well, West Newton, and I think there's been a lot of news over West Newton A1 and A2, and we are about to resume our well test. There has been a hiatus, as many of you will be aware, and currently we've got that scheduled for the fourth quarter of this year. We've got a revision to the technical data that's already been thrown out, such that we hope to be able to come back with an update to the market as soon as it's appropriate for us to do so. And of course, what makes West Newton so exciting is the fact that it's very close to existing infrastructure and of course a lot of industrial uses. So for us, we think West Newton is a real, is one of the jewels in our crown. Coming on to Wressle, and I know that a lot of you have experienced our disappointment in the way in which the Wressle project has developed. But what we really want to draw your attention to is the fact that the Planning Inspectorate Inquiry recommences on the 5th of November. And I don't know whether you've seen a lot of the news, but the planning authority has submitted no evidence. So, one can never preempt these things, but I'm very confident that we're going to get a favourable outcome there. And then, of course, there's our Biscathorpe project. Now, Biscathorpe has really tested our technical mettle. And it's something that we are still researching, and it's something that we're still studying. And again, when it's appropriate, we will make the announcements, and we will let everybody know when we think it's the right thing to do. Okay, so on to West Newton. As you can see, there's a significant aerial coverage on the West Newton discovery. We've had 2 discovery wells in there, the A1 and the A2. The A2, as you will recall, is currently being tested at the moment, and the testing program has been suspended while we reconfigure the equipment to better suit the results that we've had to date. And here's the drill site. So what we've found so far, and we've released to the market, is that it's a substantial hydrocarbon accumulation with a 65-metre interval in the Kirkham Abbey. There is a significant liquids component, and this is something that was yielded from the initial part of our test of the A2 well, which really precipitated our need to pause and reassess and reconfigure our equipment. As we highlighted previously, we're looking to resume the testing in the fourth quarter of this year, and the NPV of the project in going from a predominantly gas-based to a predominantly liquids-based potential contingent resource will result in a significantly increased valuation net to the company upon a successful completion of the A2 well. And again, one of the things that we're very keen to stress and we highlight here is there is additional substantial prospectivity that is yet to aim for. So, for us, the 183, Pedal 183 investment is a significant investment that can still yield significant results for years to come. As I say, we're very close to existing infrastructure. You've got Dimlington and Easington. That's the landing point for the Rough and Johnson fields offshore, which incidentally is a similar basin to the one that we're operating in. You've got the Lidsey and Killingholme petrochemicals works and refineries. So you've got a real hub which you can feed into. So any size of discovery, whether it's gas or liquid, will be easily monetizable, and it doesn't take too much imagination to see where we'll be valorizing these hydrocarbons too. Now, again, just recapping what we've got the natural gas infrastructure. That's the national grid infrastructure, the Transco grid. You've got oil in the shape of the Lidsey oil refinery not too far away. You've got pipelines that crisscross the entire acreage. You've got a number of power stations which operate a peak loading and base loading modes. And of course, you've got the other chemicals plants that we mentioned. So, as we say, in summary, it is a compelling project, both technically and financially. There are two large onshore hydrocarbon discoveries, as I say, with proximity to infrastructure. The economic value, whether it's gas or liquids, is compelling and will attract investment from third parties. And we are currently working with the operator to understand the breakdown of the liquids and the gas across the accumulation, and the contingent resource which we have at West Newton. We are looking to update the market on as soon as we are able, as soon as we're comfortable that the work is technically sound and is something that is robust enough to be able to share. And just to remind you of our original investment, we acquired a 16.665% interest in the whole license. It was amply demonstrated by the management team at the time that they identified a prospect, they undertook a rigorous technical evaluation, and it was a very adroit commercial negotiation with the operators that led to really quite attractive terms. As I said, the additional upside will be targeted, and there is a program underway to assess the prospectivity across the 176,000 acre license. So this is a game that is going to continue. It's got longevity. and it's got everything in the risk profile from appraisal through to exploration. Now, if we come on to Wressle, and I know that I've been speaking with some of you before coming up here, that it really is a key focus for us, and although we've been talking a lot about West Newton, we are still maintaining an active involvement in ensuring that Wressle comes on stream as quickly as possible. Just to remind everybody, it's essentially going to be a two-stage development, with the initial stage delivering about 500 barrels a day, and the second stage being the contingent resource, looking to come on stream once we can bring it on and actually get it to the market in a safe and appropriate manner. The oil initially in place is 14.7 million barrels, 14.18 million barrels, sorry. We've got just over 2.15 million barrels of potentially recoverable, and that's 2P and 2C as we broke down over the page. And as we said, our initial development plan only focuses on the Penistone flags. Excludes any contribution from the Penistone flags, which will be the second phase of development. And the limitation there, of course, is the fact that we can only produce a certain volume of oil on a daily basis to satisfy our planning approvals. Most importantly, and this is the point that I was rushing to get to, is that it generates significant cash flow. And what that enables us to do is to point towards a certainty over where we're going to go in the future. And I think the other aspect that I know that everybody here will be very keen on is the fact that it vindicates management's approach, the technical assessment, the commercial negotiation, and then the ability to execute and deliver a plan to the market. As we say, we've got the appeal for development commencing November the 5th, and we're optimistic that we're going to be in a position to be able to report something positive on the development of this particular project. Of course, once that has been approved, it will take a little bit of time to get it in production. There's some infrastructure that we need to put in place on the field, but we would be hopeful that we'll be able to again update the market with a definitive date as to when that's going to happen. As we've come full circle, there is substantial upside in the 2C resources. These will be accessed once we've been able to phase it and to demonstrate that we can deliver and operate safely in the region. And the program that's going to be implemented for the Penistone flags is really a carbon copy of the existing development on Wressle. So in theory, from our perspective, it's a cookie cutter type operation, relatively lower risk, relatively greater reward, because we're going to have the infrastructure already in place. And again, once we implement that development plan, those 2C resources will be reclassified into reserves. Okay, moving on, by last but by no means least, is the Biscathorpe prospect. The Westphalian sandstone play was not tested at the Biscathorpe location, and it remains our opinion that it's one of the largest conventional unappraised onshore hydrocarbon prospects in the UK. We've done some preliminary work, and we continue to do a range of tests and trials and studies that suggests that there's 150 meters of oil saturation over the Denantian carbonate interval. and it's in proximity to an effective hydrocarbon system, which means that if and when we've completed the study and we've identified the right strategy, that we should be able to test the prospectivity of the field more rigorously. As I've highlighted, we are reprocessing a lot of the data that we've got. The control that we've received from this particular well has enabled us to sharpen our pencil in reinterpreting the seismic. So in that respect, you know, its data really has been a godsend for us, and it's helping us to better understand the play concept and the structural anomalies that are being thrown up by Biscathorpe. And as we highlighted previously, the Biscathorpe 2 well has been suspended pending a sidetrack. So we are going to be able to use the same bore to kick off a second leg of appraisal on the Biscathorpe prospect. So really quite an exciting set of tests, trials, and potential drilling yet to come. Now, as you can see here, we've got the Biscathorpe rig. And really, summing up, you know, as I hope that we've given you an indication of, we are a low-risk, onshore, strategy-focused company focusing on drill-ready projects and creating value for shareholders. We've got a balanced portfolio with production. At the moment, it's limited to Keddington, but soon to be added to by Wressle. We've got an active appraisal program in the shape of West Newton and Biscathorpe. And of course, we have a number of exploration prospects that we're continuing to work up. The successful West Newton A2 appraisal well and the extended well test that we've put into hiatus while we redesign the program is poised to deliver a major onshore hydrocarbon development. Now, that means that what we are trying to do is to make sure that we maximize the quote-unquote bang for the buck that you, our investors, and the faith that you, our investors, have placed in us. And we intend to apply those financial and technical criteria to ensure that the next stage of West Newton testing is optimized as much as it can be. We also apply those to the Biscathorpe prospect, which again remains untested and remains a significant play for the future. And of course, last but by no means least, Wressle is poised to come back into the fold and to be placed on production and generate significant cash flow with which we can further invest to go and create further value. So with that, we believe that Union Jack is poised to deliver growth in reserves, production, and asset value over the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months and beyond.